The moment Willow told Felicia that Anna had been moved somewhere more comfortable, I swear, I felt that cold little shift this show sometimes gives you right before everything falls apart. Not relief, not hope, something heavier than that. Because Felicia looked emotional, almost grateful, and for a second, even I wanted to believe Willow was finally doing something good here. But then my mind immediately went somewhere darker. Why did Willow sound so prepared? Why did it feel like she was delivering a statement instead of sharing real information? And guys, the second she avoided saying the exact location out loud, I started thinking about Wyndemere. I don't know why my brain went there so fast, but it did. Maybe because Wyndemere has never truly been just a house on this show. That place feels like a vault for buried secrets. Every time somebody disappears, every time the truth gets twisted into something unrecognizable, somehow that island ends up connected to it. So when Willow started talking about privacy, protection, keeping Anna away from outside pressure, I couldn't help feeling like we were listening to the beginning of a setup instead of a rescue. And maybe I'm reading too much into this, but there was something unsettling about how calm Willow was. Anna's entire life has basically exploded. Accusations are hanging over her head. Enemies are still circling everywhere. Yet Willow spoke like every piece had already been arranged perfectly behind the scenes. That's not normal, especially not in Port Charles. Nobody gets smooth solutions unless somebody powerful is controlling the board. And I cannot stop thinking about Wyndemere. Because Willow telling Felicia that Anna had been transferred somewhere more comfortable instead of remaining in a high security facility should have sounded hopeful. It should have felt like a small victory after everything Anna has been through lately. But there's something about this that doesn't sit right with me. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but every time the show starts using vague language like safe location or private recovery, it usually means somebody is hiding something bigger underneath. And the second Willow mentioned pulling strings behind the scenes, I felt that little alarm bell go off in my head. Not because Willow helping someone is strange. That part actually tracks. Willow has always wanted to be seen as compassionate, useful, trustworthy. But this felt different to me. This felt calculated. Like she already knew exactly what questions Felicia would ask and had rehearsed the answers beforehand. The pauses, the carefully chosen words, even the way she apparently discouraged too many people from getting involved. Guys, I keep going back to that detail because it matters more than it seems. Why isolate Anna from the people who would immediately recognize if something was wrong? Why keep Jason at a distance? Why make it sound like secrecy was necessary for Anna's own protection? I mean, maybe there really is a legitimate explanation. I can admit that. Maybe Willow truly believes she's helping. Maybe Anna genuinely needed to disappear temporarily because somebody dangerous is still watching her. But the truth may be more complicated than it looks. Because the more I think about it, the more this whole thing starts feeling less like medical protection and more like controlled containment. And if that's true, then Wyndemere suddenly becomes terrifying again. Not physically terrifying in the old school Cassadine dungeon way. Not exactly. What scares me is the psychological part of it. Wyndemere has always represented secrets buried under elegance. Beautiful rooms hiding rot underneath. Every hallway in that place feels haunted by manipulation, old power games, emotional imprisonment. So if Anna really ends up there instead of a legitimate recovery center, I don't think that's random at all. I keep picturing Anna waking up slowly, disoriented, maybe believing at first that Willow actually saved her. Maybe she sees comfortable furniture, soft lighting, nurses moving quietly through the halls. Not bars, not chains. Nothing openly hostile. And honestly, that's what makes it darker to me. Because if you make a prison look peaceful enough, eventually the prisoner starts questioning whether escape is even necessary. That feels very General Hospital to me. And I know some people are probably thinking Willow would never knowingly do something this manipulative, but I'm not entirely convinced anymore. Or maybe I should say, I'm not convinced Willow fully understands the role she's playing. Because there's another possibility here that I can't shake. What if Willow herself is being handled? What if somebody approached her during Anna's legal crisis and convinced her that this was the only way to keep everyone safe? Someone powerful enough to exploit Willow's need to protect her family. Someone who understands exactly how emotionally vulnerable she's been lately. Because if you ask me, Willow has been carrying this quiet exhaustion for months now. The kind that makes people easier to manipulate because they stop trusting their own instincts. And that's where my mind immediately goes toward Valentine. Or maybe somebody connected to Pikeman. Or honestly, somebody we haven't even identified yet. Because Anna knows too much. That part feels obvious. The question is whether someone wants Anna dead or discredited. There's a difference. Killing Anna creates noise. Investigations. Revenge. Questions. But isolating her, keeping her hidden somewhere unofficial while making it appear compassionate, that's cleaner. If Anna later starts making accusations, people can dismiss her. They can say she was traumatized, confused, recovering emotionally. Guys, that strategy is honestly scarier than outright violence because it erases someone slowly instead of suddenly. And the really unsettling part is I think Willow may genuinely believe she's helping. That's why this storyline could become emotionally brutal if the writers fully commit to it. Because imagine Felicia slowly realizing something's wrong. Not all at once. Little cracks first. Missing paperwork. Conflicting stories. Delayed calls. Tiny inconsistencies Willow can't fully explain. I can see Felicia trying to ignore her instincts at first because she wants to believe somebody is finally helping Anna instead of targeting her. But there's something about Felicia's intuition that has always been underrated on this show. She notices emotional shifts, energy changes, silence that lasts too long. I keep coming back to this image of Felicia alone late at night, staring at transfer records that suddenly don't match. Maybe she notices signatures that were altered. Maybe the facility Willow mentioned technically exists, but Anna was never admitted there officially. That's the kind of reveal that hits harder because it unfolds quietly. And meanwhile, Anna is sitting inside Wyndemere, slowly piecing things together herself. Honestly, that's the part I'd be most excited to watch. Because Anna is too smart not to eventually notice the performance around her. Maybe at first she appreciates Willow's help. Maybe she even defends her. But eventually little details stop adding up. A guard using the wrong terminology. Restricted doors that shouldn't exist in a medical environment. Staff members refusing to answer direct questions. And then maybe one accidental comment changes everything. Not a dramatic confession. Just a mistake. Something simple like a nurse mentioning Willow instructed them not to tell Anna her exact location yet. That's it. That's the moment the entire emotional foundation collapses. Because then Anna realizes Willow never rescued her. She relocated her. There's a huge difference between those two things. And I think what fascinates me most is the possibility that Willow could still see herself as the good person in this story, even after all of it. Maybe especially after all of it. That kind of moral contradiction is where General Hospital becomes really compelling. When characters convince themselves the lie is love. When protection starts looking identical to control, I could even see Willow breaking emotionally once Felicia corners her with the truth. Not villain monologue territory. More fragile than that. More desperate, like somebody who crossed a line so gradually she barely noticed it happening until it was too late. Because maybe there's leverage involved. Maybe somebody threatened Michael. Maybe Wiley became part of the equation somehow. I don't know but I cannot stop feeling like Willow is operating under pressure we haven't fully seen yet. And if that's true, then Anna may not actually be the only prisoner connected to Wyndemere. That's the thought I keep circling back to. Because sometimes on this show, the person holding the key is trapped too.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.